Hello, my name is Erich Wiitala, and I'll be joining the seminary this fall for the Diocese of Lafayette in Indiana. So growing up, I was all my attention was put on lacrosse and sports. I kind of developed a false sense of what a man is. The culture kind of lured me in, so I wasn't really practicing my faith at all. So when I say lacrosse was an idol in my life, I feel like I really don't give you guys a great picture of what that looked like. I mean, I was working out 3-4 times a day because what lacrosse did, what being good at lacrosse did was it would make me popular, I can get all the girls I wanted type of thing. So it got me those things that I kind of desired, so that's why lacrosse became an idol, and that's why I worked out so much. I couldn't afford not being great at the sport and receiving this attention that I thought I needed.
And he's going to be matched up against Erich Wiitala. Erich Wiitala is an outstanding takeaway defenseman with a great stick. So we're real excited to see that matchup because we're talking about literally two of the best players in the state. There's no question.
All throughout my high school years, I was an All-American lacrosse player in the state of Indiana. I won Player of the Year my senior year, which took my ego took off from there.
And the IHSLA 2018 Player of the Year goes to Erich Wiitala.
And then I went to the University of Indianapolis, was a starter for LSM, long stick midi, and we went to the Final Four my freshman year. And at this point, I was working out the most I ever had in my life, and lacrosse was really, the 5 years prior to this, it was just going upwards. Everything was just going great. I was getting better and better, winning more awards, receiving more attention from the people around me, feeling really good about myself. But then overtraining hit me, and this is kind of a grace in my life where I started overtraining, and I got really kind of in a rough patch in my life, kind of a little bit depressed because I was working so hard and I was not getting better. I was not performing the way I wanted to perform. So that actually led me to stopping lacrosse for a period of time, kind of reflecting on my life and what really matters. And then so I transferred from the University of Indianapolis to the University of Louisville, where I was hit in the face with a divine 2x4, and my conversion began there. So it came in two forms. So my first form was I was majoring in philosophy at the time, and I took a philosophy of religions course, which really sparked me to reflect on what really mattered in my life. A big grace was bestowed upon me here, and I started praying for the first time of God, if you're real, reveal yourself to me. And because me not being too much of an intellectual, I really needed God's help to reveal these things to me of if he's real or not. And then over a period of time, I just flooded with just grace. I was introduced to a bunch of Catholic speakers like Trent Horn, some Protestant guys like Frank Turek, and I realized the reality and the mystery of the Eucharist for the first time in my entire life, and it just blew my mind. So that was the first part of my conversion. And I also, I developed some good relationships with a few priests, and they became real spiritual fathers to me, which really just changed everything. They showed God's love through caring for me. So then I randomly did the St. Louis de Montfort Marian consecration. I didn't read the book, but I did an online version, day one, pray these prayers, 15 minutes a day or something. And Mary changed my life. I mean, ultimately Jesus did, but Mary brought me so much closer to Jesus. And day 12 or so into that consecration, I could literally feel a maternal presence that was beyond this world. And I fell in love with Our Lady. So very similar to one of my favorite priests, Father Calloway, and she really came in my life and changed it and made me grow deeper. And she actually was the first person to make me think about seminary, because before this, the idea of being celibate, that was out of this world. The idea of giving up everything and just living for others was that was not me. What I thought greatness was living for yourself, was winning these awards, was doing these things that the culture tells you. It's this is what a man's supposed to do, this is what greatness is. It's just winning these awards, but that's such a lie. So I'll be going to Kenner and Glennon, and I'm just very excited for this journey and what God has in store for me. I'm just very blessed to be in this moment right now. If if you're really thinking about discerning the seminary, yeah, try to get a spiritual director, but like just go for it. Contact the vocational director and really just talk to God, man. Like, no one's really worthy of a vocation. Something I always bring up is, like, the apostles were fishermen. Like, they weren't like some theologians or some of these big time guys before becoming who Christ was calling them to be, before becoming bishops, right? They were just ordinary men. Like, I'm just an ordinary man, and you may think the same thing, but just go for it. Yeah, so I've had an experience with the world and like earthly gratification, what the world has to offer, and and I really feel like God's calling me to something higher. I think that's the priesthood, and I couldn't be more excited for the journey He has set before me.